we can get right into the Suns off season, man. Uh Tevin mentioned anybody but Kevin, Devin, and Tevin, and maybe campaign. Shout out to Memphis.
And Young Jock, add Young Jock to that.
And Young Jock. Okay.
Add Young Jock
What
to it.
as far as what the Suns need to do, I mean, there were rumblings about them getting rid of Monty Williams, which surprised me because I'm like, why are you letting go of Monty Williams? I think he's a good coach. I think he's good at what he does. And you change like when you make a trade in the middle of the season, especially towards the end of the season, because KD only played 8 games during the regular season with the Suns, if I'm not mistaken, and they won all those games. Like I don't see why you would fire Monty Williams from like the coaching staff. I don't agree with that. And when you trade a player, it normally goes the way that it went for the Suns, where it's like not as successful in the postseason. The Lakers is like a huge outlier in terms of like they made a trade, they're in the West Conference Finals. So if they fire Monty Williams, that owner is on the wrong foot, in my opinion. I know he's new, he want to bring in his guy, his players. He brought in Kevin Durant, all that type of stuff. But you got to keep Monty Williams, man. He has a pulse, his ear to the team what they need, as far as like coaching. And I think they need to just construct the roster around these two players, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. What that looks like, I'm not really sure about their cap situation right now, but they need a Jeremy Grant or another a Tyus Jones if you need a point guard with Chris Paul being out. Somebody that can like be steady, not turn the ball over, make the correct play. I think Tyus Jones will be big for a lot of teams for the offseason because he can start for somebody's team. He's 28 years old. He's a veteran, and I think he wants to start. Chris Paul, according to Vegas, the favorite team for him to play next year right now is the Lakers, which surprised me because I wouldn't touch that if I'm the Lakers. I'd get Kyrie before I get Chris Paul. But two, what do you think they need to do for the offseason if they are going to be making these moves?
For one, if the Suns get rid of Monty Williams, they're playing themselves. The joke's on them in a way. Because, like, if we look at last season, right? Last season, the Suns were embarrassed on home court. We talked about the 40, 50-point loss against Dallas. And what was the main problem then? DeAndre Ayton. If you come into the summer, what was everything talked about? How DeAndre Ayton did not want to come back to this Suns team. And what did the Suns do? They ended up matching the offer sheet that the Indiana Pacers were going to have him on. Ayton was cool with going to Indiana. Let him leave. But the Phoenix Suns felt, hey, we need to bring him back. And then what happened? You end up, coming to this season on some negative energy to the point where we can talk about it. The Suns probably weren't going to even make the playoffs the way they were looking. Correct me if I'm wrong. So for everybody saying, why did they go get Kevin Durant? Because if you don't get Kevin Durant, you probably don't get in the playoffs. Simple as that. So, of course, you have to trade everybody that you traded, to get Kevin Durant. But now that you got him in the building, let's go ahead and build around him. Number one, Ainge needs to be done. If he's still on this team next season, something went wrong over the summer.
And he said he committed to the team in the comment, I guess, after the post playoff interview. I don't believe that shit.
He was just talking, man. I feel like he was just, we're still playing with the Suns. Give my all to the Suns. Really? In what 6 games did you do that?
Not at all. Like, come on, man. We literally like reels, bro. We seen AD leave the game in a wheelchair because of a concussion and came back last game. But you want to sit out because your ribs hurt. My ribs hurting. You got your ass well, bro. Embarrassed, like straight up. Like read the energy, Suns front office. Read the energy. The guy didn't want to be here from the jump. Well, I ain't gonna say from the jump because he went to college in Arizona. But as far as contract extensions, he saw the writing on the wall. He didn't want to be there. And what happened? Y'all brought him back. Ship his ass to Indiana. I'd love to get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, if he's still available. Those two will fit better with Kevin and Devin. You got to trade Chris Paul. You can't have $40 million, paying a player $40 million and every year he's into the playoffs. Like that's something it's some people that expected Chris Paul not to play because he was going to injure. Was one of them people me? No, because I actually thought Chris Paul was going to play it and I thought he was going to win. So now you got to trade him. You gotta trade him. You gotta trade him to a team who's gonna utilize him, i.e. the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie said he not done playing with Kevin Durant. Do I believe it? Absolutely. So now if you got Kyrie who should not be on the Mavericks team next year at all, get him off. I can see Chris Paul being a better fit for that team because I've been saying you got to get the hand out of Duncan's ball hand anyway. Swap him out. But my thing is, with still Kyrie Irving injury history in the playoffs. That's the only thing that's stopping me from being first. If you want, if the odds are for the Lakers to get Chris Paul, and I mean you have to get D'Angelo Russell, I would like that. I like it at all. He's a streaky shooter, better fit. So you got to do what you got to do. But she, like he said, $60 million between those two players ain't going to be it. You got to strengthen your bench because you literally had nobody outside of campaign coming off the bench and Young Jock.
And one game was Shamit.
and Shamit. There's some games you got some games Shamit. So it is what it is, but you gotta do better off the bench. Like we see how role players are coming in, and literally since basketball men, role players win you playoffs. So the Suns got to look at themselves in the mirror, figure out what they want to do. Ownership need to read the room and try to figure out the best deal possible for DeAndre Ayton. And I think they'll do that. But it starts with getting rid of him. Ain't no way in hell he should be on this team next season.
Yeah, interesting enough, man. I was just trying to crunch the numbers for us next year. And ironically enough, KP's contract and DeAndre Ayton's contract, very similar, off by a few million. You can make that money work. Now, how does that work for the team of the Phoenix Suns? I mean, at least you get somebody on the floor that will at least try to create a shot, play some offense, space the floor a little bit more, do something. DeAndre Ayton's getting paid millions of dollars to do what? To put on a jersey? Like $30 million to put on a jersey. Legitimate. I mean, I put on just the shorts if you want to just give me $15 million. All right. But all in all, I like when I just said that, I was like, dang, let me look up these contracts. And I actually like that as a fit. Now, that does mean there's no rim support, so to speak, for the Suns. But I mean, who was it this year? Bismack? Biyombo? I mean, they gave that up.
And he didn't even play. Like,
no. And so they've already given that up anyway. So they're not looking for rim protection. And this team, 47. Well, you might as well just call this $48 million for Kevin Durant next year. The underpaid Devin Booker for $37 million. And then you got the Chris Paul $30 million. The problem with the Chris Paul is it's a player option. If I'm him, I sign in because I don't know who else is going to offer him that amount of money to play point guard. And then you try to unload that $30 million. Now, where does that $30 million go for Chris Paul? I don't know. If that is the case in point where, you try to get Kyrie Irving there for if he signs a similar deal with the Mavericks, maybe. But you got to get rid of DeAndre Ayton. That just has like we had to get rid of Close Pool. You got to get rid of DeAndre Ayton. You cannot make it out the barrel when there's a crab pulling you back down. And this crab right now is DeAndre Ayton. And he's holding on firm to why the Suns cannot be a success. This team should have already won a championship. Let's really think about that. They weren't supposed, but they were in the rankings they were 2 wins away from being a championship team. And now, not so much. So DeAndre Ayton is the first person that needs to go, and he's the max player to go in regards to how much money. And then Chris Paul, I mean, Cameron Payne been playing phenomenal for you, and you got to retool a little bit more. I don't know if they're going to have, TJ Warren, Terrence Ross, again, players that didn't really see the floor anyway, back. But it has to start with Trey and DeAndre Ayton. It has to.
My thing about Ayton, really a couple of players. What does Ayton think he is? Is my question. Is he aware that he's a third option? Like on any team, he cannot be my main option. When he was the main option, the Suns were ass. They were not good. This was when him and Book was a little bit younger. Like he had 18, 19 points a game, but he don't get blocks. He don't play defense. And if you're a big man that can't block shots, do something else that's productive. Joker ain't just block shots like that, but he's the freaking point guard for your team. So Ayton might have to come to a humbling experience and just say, you know what, I ain't that guy. I am okay with not getting my touches, but when I get the touches, I make the most of them. So if he goes to Indiana, he gonna be a third option again. You got Tyrese Halliburton, you got Benedict Mathurin. Who else is there? You got I know they probably trade Miles Turner, but he's a third option by default if he goes to Indiana. You know what I'm saying? So he has to realize what he is as a player. He's out of his time because like he would probably been cold in like the 2000s, but right now this is not a big man era. This is a perimeter oriented era. He might have to develop a jump shot, a 3-point shot. He can make a mid-range shot, but not a 3-point shot. So he might have to expand his game in order to be the player that he thinks that he should be. That's one option. My second one, I'm wondering how does Book feel, because Book didn't speak to the media. I'm not gonna make a huge deal about that, but to me, that's something. That's something going on with Book. Is Book frustrated about how the last 2 seasons ended, getting your ass kicked by the Mavericks at home, getting your ass kicked by the Nuggets at home in Game 6? So I'm wondering, how does he feel about that? How's he feeling about the new ownership? Is he cool with the ownership? Is he cool with Kevin Durant being there? Like, is Kevin? I'm sure they are, but like, I'm wondering, how does Booker feel heading into his prime and not having as much help and support around him? Kevin Durant, I tweeted about it, and during the game, Kevin Durant showing his age, man. Like, I know it's playoffs. I know he come back from an injury. I think he's showing his age just a little bit. He's not taking as many threes as he used to, and that might just be an issue with the offense and just the spacing of the court for him. But I'm curious. I'm not worried because I still think this is going to be a good team next year. You got Booker play out of his mind, y'all. Like, his scoring, the difficulty of his shots was ridiculous. It was like, all right, man, you got it. You making all your shots. So I think they'll still be a contending team. But if it doesn't start off well, what is going to happen? That's my biggest concern. I think they'll be okay. They better not fire Monty Williams. They can't do that. I'll be pissed if they do that.
Me and you both. Me and you both.
Breaking news. Time out. Breaking news. Monty Williams just got fired.
Oh my God!
Freaking way. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Did we have to break this at my time though?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Monty Williams got fired, so I'm not a fan of that.
Back man, done wrong.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan. Like,
what did he do wrong?
Are we sure?
I don't know. Somebody said he got fired. We're gonna see.
Hold on, I'm googling right now.
Who was it, Shams or Woj?
Right,
Jerry. We don't mean to do this to you, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. Whether you're right or wrong, we've had breaking news before, Jerry. We trying to make sure.
And you got a profile pic, so it's kind of hard for us to believe. No, just
right.
Thank you for checking in. Thank you for checking in, man.
Yep. Wait. Sons around yep, $2 million. Yep.
Yeah.
Things Sons are parting ways with head coach Monty Williams. That's crazy, bro. Like, why? I don't get it. Why would you fire Monty? I understand it because it's the owner. New owner wants his person in there. I don't know who on the street you want to hire unless you want Nick Nurse. But I mean, he okay, but he ain't a needle mover like that. Wow, that's not a fan. Not a fan. I feel like we got to go back and edit the Phoenix part because like that changes everything. That changes everything for me. Like I'm just not a fan of that, man. I'm not a fan of it.
I'm speechless, man. Monty Williams didn't deserve that. I understand how like I've said, that they've had a collapse since they went to the finals, yes. But when you do a midseason trade, and even with the midseason trade, and you get a top 5 player in the league right now who also got hurt as well after the trade and had to sit out, there's no time to build chemistry. And I mean, if they lose in 7, do you keep I don't get it. That mad disrespectful from Phoenix. And wow, Monty Williams, kudos to you, sir. You should not be without Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I mean,
man.
Milwaukee, you should be on the phone right now to get Monty Williams.
Right now.
Don't even let the ink dry.
Damn it, Grizzlies.
No, you know the Grizzlies.
Okay.
You know the Grizzlies. Wow. I'm really hurt. And I had a whole little thing set up for my All-NBA second team, and it's just truly deflated me.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know what to say, man. He a coach that didn't deserve to be fired. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, who you gonna bring in?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who on the street do you want? Like, who's available? Phil Jackson? What? I don't know.
We're not bringing on no damn Phil Jackson.
They about to bring in Chris Quinn.
Chris Quinn? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wow.
And this to me, like, it's like going back to like the Kevin Durant thing. Like, Kevin Durant, right? Wherever Kevin Durant goes, it blows up every time. It blows up. And like, as the owner of the team, what's his name? Ishbal, what his name is, I don't know. Like, you have to understand that this team traded mid-season. Kevin Durant only played 8 games. They won all of them. You get to the playoffs, you win your first round series. Second round, you run to the better team. That team is better than y'all. Like, what y'all want them to do against the Joker and Murray and these players? Like, that team was better. And you could have went to the offseason. You could have said, all right, we got an offseason filled with, KD, Book, make moves, make changes. We were 8-0 with Kevin Durant in the lineup during the regular season. One has to assume we're going to be better next season with a new focus, new players, new role players, whatever we got to do. So for them to do that, now I'm wondering, how does Booker feel? Because, like, you fired my guy. We just got to the finals, 2 years ago? We had the best record in the league last year. We fought to get back in the playoffs this year. If I'm Booker, I'm like, bro, what the hell going on? Like, what? Like, is they moving furniture, man? And I don't know if it can be ugly. They're doing something. And if I'm Book, I mean, you could, in theory, you could trade Book if he wanted to get traded. Obviously, I don't think he won't be traded. But like, if I'm him, I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. Like, where do I see the vision for success next year? Because now you're incorporating a new scheme, new players. It's a lot of newness, which could be uncomfortable depending on the circumstances. And the West is hard, man. The West is hard.
Wow, I'm speechless. I knew the sun was setting, but I didn't know it was gonna set like that.
It's Kevin Durant, man.
Did Kevin Durant curse?
It's Kevin Durant curse.
You don't want to admit it to him? Here it comes again.
Kevin Durant curse.
You want to talk about 2 teams he took to the playoffs? He got 2 coaches fired as well.
2 coaches fired in the same damn year.
At the same damn time.
The same year. Nash get up out of there. Monty get up out of there. Kevin Durant like a thunderstorm, bro. No pun intended. OKC. Like, this man, if he coming to your team, something bad gonna happen.
Greatest.
This is the best player in the league, man. This is the best player in the league, y'all.
So the Lakers.
No. They still playing basketball.
Thought you trying to shield it to something else.
Don't they look good, boy? That white on white crime that y'all and Dante was doing the last game.
No, stop deflecting, too. Stop deflecting. So, too, you the conspiracy man. Who coaching this team, man? Who the coach?
Conspiracy.
Who the coach, man? Let me know.
Coach Bud.
If they hire Coach Bud, look, I got mad respect for Coach Bud. Coach Bud is a pop disciple. He can coach, but that's not who they need. If anything, I mentioned Phil Handy last episode. Hey, Phil Handy to Phoenix. Hey, what we doing, man? We need something.
It's either the irony of that or Kenny Atkinson been getting some interviews.
I don't like
the way the Nets were looking. I think he can coach. I'm a bigger Kenny Atkinson fan than a lot of people because the Nets team that he did have before Kevin Durant and Kyrie came, like that development, even with development within those players. Yeah. Spencer Dinwiddie was even playing like an all-star.
Yeah, Dinwiddie. Yeah, I remember that.
I take Kenny Atkinson, but the irony in all this is them hiring the ex-Bucks coach. Because if it's another black man coming to fill that job, I will be very surprised. Of course, I want it, but I will be very surprised. This could be one of them Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr situations. So, I mean, who knows? JJ Redick out here getting interviews. I don't know, man.
No, I don't understand that for JJ Redick.
I mess with JJ. Go get your job, bro.
I mess with that, but I need him to be on the staff first before he can just hop into the
head coach.
Exactly.
He just using his white privilege. I think what's the guys them that just fired from the Hawks?
McMillan. Nate McMillan.
I mean, give Nate a try.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get to a team, hopefully, that still has arguably 2 top 10, top 15 talents within the league with KD and Book. And that's a lot to have, and most teams do not have. And Kevin Durant is really something, y'all. It literally follows
It's
him.
crazy, bro. It's crazy.
He's just the best.
That's crazy, though. That's crazy, bro. That's really crazy that they fired him, even though they were undefeated with him, with Kevin Durant in the lineup. Like, you have to assume they're gonna be better. Hey, we
gotta smoke that Monty pack right now, man.
Wow, we're smoking that money pack, man.
Smoking that money
you know
pack.
what though? That owner, I mean, Finn's got a new owner, but he been doing some shit, man. The thing with the Joker on the sideline or the baseline, that was some shit. Firing Money Williams, some shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Trevor said Nick Nurse. I don't like Nick Nurse for them, man. Nick Nurse, nah.
They're gonna the way management works, Savage, is that they're gonna go and find quality coaches, and what quality coaches mean are championship winning coaches. And there are 2 of them, as we've said, Coach Bud and Coach Nurse, out there. Do I want either of them on the sideline? Hell no. No. But the way management work, they're gonna go and get the most qualified person for the job.
I don't even know who.
And for the people that just listen, I did put the quotes around.